back to Riding the Pine. This is our review of Game 16 of the 2021-2022 Chicago Blackhawks season. Tonight, the Blackhawks defeated the Seattle Kraken by a score of 3-2, picking up their fourth consecutive victory, improving their overall record to 5-9-2 on the season. But before we get to the review, if you could do me a really big favor and hit that like button and subscribe down below. If you haven't done so already, it helps us out a lot with YouTube's algorithm. And by doing so, you won't ever have to worry about when we upload our content. We will come looking for you, as you will get a ping notification on all of your devices of choice from YouTube. And with that, we will get straight into the game tonight. It's been kind of a nice late night 9 o'clock start that everybody loves. Defense tonight, I think for the most part, was still pretty good. I think on this little run here that we've been on, the defense has played pretty well. Marc-Andre Fleury was absolutely excellent tonight. He completely stole this game for the Hawks without question. I hate to be the same kind of person that just repeats the same thing over and over again. But the story tonight's the offense. The offense is broken. It doesn't work. They have to do something to fix this offense. Now, you might say, hey, McBrooklyn, what are you talking about, man? They scored 3 goals. Yeah, they scored 3 goals, but who scored the 3 goals? Kane, Debrincat, and Jones. Those are the 3 biggest point producers on the team. Who else is scoring? Nobody. Where is Dominik Kubalik? I commented on Twitter tonight. It's nice to see Dominik Kubalik finally playing defense. It only took 3 seasons. But where's the offense, man? John Dietz swore up and down that this guy was worth $6 million. Swore up and down he was worth the same amount of money that Alex Debrincat is making, the same amount of money that Artemi Panarin was making when he signed his extension before the Blackhawks and Stan Bowman fucked him royally and traded him to Columbus. Same contracts Debrincat and Panarin had. According to John Dietz, that's what Dominik Kubalik is worth. Dominik Kubalik has never been worth the same amount of money that Artemi Panarin or Alex Debrincat are worth. So that really begs the question, because if this continues, I don't know if you bring Kubalik back. This team needs draft capital. Kubalik, I believe, will still be a restricted free agent. To me, I think you have to move on from Kubalik. I think you trade him and get some draft capital back. If you can get the way he's playing, I don't even know if he'll get you a first-round pick, to be quite honest. But the Blackhawks got to do something to reap some draft capital. And, Calvin DeHaan's contract ends this year. That money will essentially be diverted to the extension of Seth Jones. So you don't have to worry about making up that money for Seth Jones. It'll automatically be gone or taken care of with Calvin DeHaan's contract coming off the books, as well as the $700,000 that was retained in the Ole Mata trade last season. But Andrew Shaw's nearly $4 million will come off the books. Kubalik is making, was it 3.4, 3.5, something like that this season. So those two combined are about $7.5 million. I'm assuming the salary cap will go up maybe $1 million or 500,000, something like that. So you have about $8 million to play there with there. And, I know we have a lot of big contracts coming up. Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, and Alex Debrincat are all going to be up the same season. I think we have to be realistic here. Jonathan Toews is not worth $10 million at this point in his career. So I think you can divert the money that you would be giving that Taves has currently to Debrincat. So you drop Taves down to like 10 to $7 million, something like that, and then you give Debrincat 10. Yep, Debrincat is about 10 million. And then Kane, maybe you give a little bit more money to. Maybe you bump Kane up to 11 and a half, something like that. And that still leaves you with about the $8 million in space. Plus, to me, I think you keep both Marc-Andre Fleury and Kevin Lankinen around. I think Fleury will take at least a $2 million discount, and you can kind of keep your goalie salary pretty much what it is now, if not save $1 million on it. But you've got that $8 million. And to me, rather than bring Kubalik back, I think you move on from Kubalik, and I think you go out and you get a scorer. You've got to get somebody that can score. And it so happens there will be a under 30 goal scorer on the market next offseason named Philip Forsberg, who also happens to play for one of your rivals, and he's a right winger. To me, I think you go and get somebody like a Philip Forsberg. You have to. You can't trade. That's the thing. The Blackhawks can't trade right now because they don't have. Who are you trading? Kirby Doc? I don't. Who's going to want Kirby right now? I mean, we're going to get into him here in a second, but you're not going to get the value that you wasted on him. And it looks like you wasted on him with the 3rd overall pick. There's just a lot of that draft is looking really bad, by the way, that 2019 draft. But either way, we're sitting here and you have to be able to score. And Debrincat and Kane are not going to score 3 goals every game. They're not. So if you don't get some more offense from somewhere else in your lineup, this win streak's not going to last. And it probably won't last long anyway. We're playing some tough teams here coming up, starting with Edmonton. But we got to start scoring. And, I'm looking at the box score tonight, and I have some serious questions. Why is Dylan Strome playing 10 minutes a game? Why? I don't understand that at all. 10 minutes? That's the second lowest on the team at forward. And you're playing shorthanded tonight. They played with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. And Dylan Strome only plays 10 minutes. The only person that played less was Henrik Borgstrom, that played 7.5. I don't understand. Reese Johnson played 14.5 minutes tonight. Reese Johnson. Why? To put that in perspective, that's the same ice time that Dominic Kubalik was getting last season. They're giving Dominic Kubalik ice time to Reese Johnson. Here's another problem. Dominic Kubalik played nearly 20 minutes tonight. He played 18 seconds on the lone power play. And again, I like the fact that he's starting to play defense, but he's not producing. This roster is just a mess right now. Philip Kurashev did get an assist tonight. Finally. We were beginning to wonder if he still had a pulse, but he finally got on the score sheet. But I have to tell you, let's go to Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach picked up an assist tonight. He was a +3, and he had 1 shot on goal, 2 blocks. That's all good and dandy. He played 21 minutes tonight. But, bro, his face-off numbers were 7. He won 17% of face-offs tonight. 17, and he's your number 1 center. I'm sorry, but Kirby Dach can still do all the things, those little things like block shots, create turnovers and all of that stuff without having to play center. Why is Dylan Strome not in between Debrincat and Kane? Why? I don't understand. Everyone is clamoring for it. Everybody. And the amazing part of all of this is that every single motherfucking activist / beat writer / journalist can say this on Twitter. Dylan Strome is certainly one of the top, 10 forwards on this team. He's one of the best centers. He responds really well the other night when he's with Kane and Debrincat. Draws a penalty, scores the game-winning goal. How is he rewarded? He's immediately demoted as soon as Kirby Dach's back on the bench. And then tonight, while Kirby Dach goes and has a abysmal night at the faceoff circle, Strome gets 10 minutes of ice time in a 60-minute game. I don't understand. I tell you what, I don't like Kara on the first line either. I understand Kara is a good player and a good grinder. But why is Jujhar Khaira playing 17 minutes a game? What? I don't understand. I don't understand. And here's the other thing I don't understand. Why are Lukas Reichel, Alex Nylander, and Josiah Slavin still in Rockford? We have not seen one of them, and we are 20% through the season. Where are they? Oh, well, we don't want to rush Lukas Reichel. Okay, well, then how about Alex Nylander? Oh, well, he's doing improvement. And, our coach, I coached him when he was in juniors down here in Rockford. And it's been really nice coaching him again. And he's really been, improving his two-way game. Why the fuck is he still in Rockford? How about Josiah Slavin, who's probably the best two-way forward down there and scoring at nearly a point per game pace? Why is he still down there? Why are we playing Reese Johnson 15 minutes a game? Think about this. Please think about this. Jujhar Khaira and Reese Johnson, they're the same player. They're grinders and they take the body. That's what they are. They're bottom 6 players. Between the two of them tonight, they played half the game. Literally. Khaira, 17 minutes. Johnson, 14 and a half. I don't understand that logic. I don't. You have to score in this NHL to win. For Christ's sakes, you were up 3-0 tonight and still almost lost. Because your offense couldn't get any puck possession. None. What? I don't understand. Everyone sees it. Everyone knows this offense is a problem. And yet, we're having the same problems that we did with Jeremy Colleton. We're still making the same boneheaded coaching decisions. These are coaching decisions. I don't understand what we are doing here. This doesn't make sense at all. I'm going to pull up the Rockford IceHogs stats. If you want, you can pull them up with me. I'm going to tell you what's going on. Okay, Lucas Reichel in 10 games has 9 points, 6 of them goals. Josiah Slavin in 10 games has 8 points. Almost even on those. And he's a +3. Alex Nylander in 10 games has 5 points and 4 goals. I don't understand. And Alex Nylander, I don't know what stat that is. I'm assuming this is shots. Alex Nylander leads the team in shots with 24. But I'm not, I don't know what this SOG stat is. Because that also is shot on goal. Or is that shootout goals? Is that what that is? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So shots, Nylander leads the team with 24. I don't understand what we're doing here. And I want to make this point clear too. Alex Nylander is not playing on the top line. So that's one reason his stats are what they are. That they're not, I'm not saying that they're great, but he is 5 points in 10 games while playing on their second line is notable because Reichel is playing with Connolly and Slavin, which is why they all have similar point totals, 9, 10, and 8. I really don't understand what the coaching staff and I guess organizationally we're doing here. I really don't. Hell, honestly, I'd even take Brett Connolly up here. I mean, I would rather have a younger player, but if we're going to do this whole, well, we want them to develop in Rockford bit, fine, then call up Connolly. Send Johnson down or send somebody, Hartman down, whatever, and give me Connolly. And that's the other thing. It wouldn't have mattered. Like the whole 11-7 thing really wouldn't have mattered because the guy who sat tonight was Mike Hartman. He's the same type of player that Kara and Johnson are. I talked about this the other night. Why do we have 3 guys that are the same player in the lineup? Why? You need 1 minimum, 2 at most. And we have 3 of them. It's not necessary. Again, you have to be able to score. The Kirby Doc #1 center experiment has to end. It has to end. It's not working. 17%? Are you kidding me? He won like 2 faceoffs all night. To be that low, he had to go like 2 for 16 or something. That's horrifically bad. Like a bad night is going like 40%. Like Taves was 45% tonight. That's a bad night for Taves at 45%. Kirby Doc was 17. That has to stop. Like, we look how long, and this is like, again, organizationally, look how long they waited to fire Colleton. Since they fired Colleton, they have not trailed in a game, and they've won 4 games in a row. Now, that's not to say that they've played excellent, because they haven't, but they've found ways to win. You can tell the team is happier. You can tell the team is looser, and you can tell they're not, like they're not panicking as much. Although you did see a little bit of panic tonight. You could feel it. Part of the old Colleton was coming out. And I don't know if that's just because they were on the road and prior to tonight, they have not won on the road. So I don't know. All I know is that you got to figure the offense out. And quickly, because we're playing the Oilers next game. And we'll see our old friend Duncan Keith, and that'll be really nice. But we're going to be facing down the barrel of a shotgun in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And you're going to have to score. So we'll see what happens. Another thing I want to talk about is Alex Debrincat. Dude can throw some fists, man, because he absolutely bitch slapped Yanni Gourde tonight. And good for him. Alex Debrincat next to Jonathan Taves should probably be the next. Like, if Taves retires tomorrow, I think Alex Debrincat might need to be the captain. I like him a lot. The leadership, the progression, and the growth of him over the last, I believe this is his 5th season. So over the last 4 years has been quite something. And he is absolutely a superstar in this league, and good on him. Now, looking forward, I'm going to look at the schedule here, because at some point, Kevin Lankinen is going to have to get a start. I do not think it will be against Edmonton, but I want to look at our upcoming schedule, because we're going across Western Canada. So we've got the Oilers on Saturday and the Canucks on Sunday. So Lankinen will most likely start on Sunday against the Canucks, and then we will be right back with Fleury for Tuesday and Friday during Thanksgiving week. This is the Hawks. The Hawks have done what they needed to do. So they strung the 2 wins together against Pittsburgh and Nashville. And then they beat the 2 teams they had to beat, which was Arizona and Seattle. So that part of the equation is done, because, we talked in the last episode what we needed to do to get back into the playoff race. So I'm looking at our next. Well, and they said it on the TNT broadcast today that teams that are in playoff position at Thanksgiving, 70% of the time they make the playoffs. I think it's something like that. So we're currently 6 games out of the playoffs of a wild card spot. Vegas and St. Louis, I believe, are the teams in those spots with 18 points. And we have a game coming up next Friday against the Blues. Technically, that's after Thanksgiving, but for sake of argument, I'm going to count these next 5 games through Thanksgiving week. We have 5 games from now till the end of Thanksgiving week on the 28th. Those 5 games are the Oilers, the Canucks, the Flames, the Blues, and the Sharks. You have to beat the Sharks, you have to beat the Canucks, and you have to beat the Flames. You have to win those 3 games. Now, ideally, you also you kind of need to beat the Blues because they're in your division. But we'll see. And I'll tell you one thing. If they can beat the Oilers on Saturday and extend this winning streak to 5 games, and also by beating the best team in the Western Conference right now, that will be a huge confidence boost. I expect this team to come out and be ready to play on Saturday against the Oilers. You've got 2 players who are going to be playing on Saturday. Caleb Jones will be in the lineup. I think you are most likely going to see Eric Gustafsson sit. It'll either be him or Riley Stillman that'll be sitting. Hopefully it's Gustafsson. And you'll also see Kara play against his former team. Kara and Jones will be playing against their former team. So hopefully they play well. I didn't really see much of Caleb Jones tonight. Unfortunately, he didn't play much. He played about 9 minutes. Again, that's fine. I just the lineup decisions have been very strange to me. And the crazy thing is, I don't think we're going to see any call-ups between now and at least till the end of this Western Canada trip, which is not until Friday. So we still got these 3 Western Canada games. So we'll see. Hopefully we have to win 2 out of these 3 games. Have to. And like I said, if we can go 3-2 out of the next 5, let's see, that would put our record at 8, 10, and 2. And that would give us 18 points. And obviously you would like one of those victories to come against the Blues. But even the games against the Flames and the Sharks are going to be important because let me pull up here the standings, the complete standings. The Flames have 21 points. They are in the last playoff spot in their division. The Sharks have 17 points and have a game in hand on Vegas, and they are 1 point behind Vegas. So if San Jose were to win that game in hand, they would have the final playoff spot or the final wild card spot, excuse me. So that will be a big game. All of these games are big. They're coming up. You want to have a good showing against Edmonton, who's the best team in the conference right now. You have to beat Vancouver. Vancouver has lost 5 in a row, and they are a dumpster fire right now. You have to win that game, just like you had to beat Arizona and Seattle. You also, like I said, you really need to beat St. Louis, San Jose, and the Flames, because those are the teams you're competing with right now for the final playoff spot. If let's just say a miracle happens and we win those 5 games, which I doubt will happen, but let's just say that were to happen, we would be on a 9-game winning streak. And that would also put us at 10-9-2. And we would have 22 points. That would be something. Again, not likely, but possible. And that would probably put us, if we did that, I would imagine that we would be a game or two out of the playoffs at that point. And at that point, like I said, you're at like only a quarter of the season will be played after Thanksgiving. So, because we'll have 5 games, that's 21 games. So it's about a quarter of the season, just a little over, basically a quarter of the season. And you'll be 2 games or a game above 500, actually, if you win out. So it's doable. This is an important stretch coming up here. This is where we got to get back into it if we're going to get back into it. Anyway, guys, real quick, I wanted to go over Fleury's final stats for the evening. So Fleury finished with 31 saves on 33 shots, 939 save percentage. This was easily his best game of the season, in my opinion. He's the only reason the Hawks got 2 points tonight, or a point for that matter. So great on him. Hawks 40% at the faceoff circle. Their number one center went 17%. Absolutely unacceptable. The Hawks were outshot, I believe, 30-11 the final 40 minutes of the game. Absolutely unacceptable in that regard. The Hawks were out hit as well, 29-20, unacceptable. The only good stat here really is that they had a lot of block shots with 22-8. And the Kraken gave the puck away 11 times to the Hawks 3. So a lot of bad things tonight for the Hawks. Marc-Andre Fleury, like I said, this was a goalie win if there was ever one. And yeah. Anyway, that'll do it, folks. It is 1 a.m. here at the time that I'm recording this. So I am going to sign off. Again, the Blackhawks in their inaugural matchup with the Seattle Kraken in Game 16 of the 2021-2022 season. The Chicago Blackhawks defeated the Kraken by a score of 3-2. Marc-Andre Fleury stood on his head for the final 40 minutes and pulled one out. The Hawks have now extended their winning streak since the firing of Jeremy Colleton to 4 games. They will look to extend that streak to 5 games this Saturday against the Edmonton Oilers and former old friend Duncan Keith and superstar Connor McDavid. Until then, I will be signing off here. You will be hearing me coming right back to you talking about that game Sunday morning, hopefully. I don't know. My designer, the problem with some of these games are going to be uploaded late because my designer does not get me the graphics until the next day because these games go till midnight, usually, these West Coast games. So bear with us as we get these out to you guys. But yes, again, Hawks improved to 5-9-2 on the season. Again, 3-2 victory in the inaugural matchup with the expansion Seattle Kraken tonight in Seattle, Washington. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, take care of your friends, get ready for the holidays, make sure you get all your Christmas presents now because thank you. Let's go, Brandon. We don't have anything on the shelves. Everything prices are going up on everything. I highly suggest you stack up on stuff because it's only going to get worse. And you don't want to be without stuff during a blizzard this year because our wonderful, ridiculously sad excuse for a president has wrecked our economy. But anyway, Again, as I was saying, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We will see you Sunday morning with our review of Saturday night's game. Until then, let's go Hawks.